what connects with you, right? So not being pulled by the voices of social media or what everybody else is doing, but really almost creating that that clear path of what you want to envision as being your life, and how can it be more fulfilling and more lively, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip, because I think that for a lot of us, as we're building businesses, we do get caught in that copycat syndrome, and we're
Mhm.
really trying to figure out, like, what are my unique gifts? But when we don't have time to get quiet, it's easy to just do what everybody else is doing because that seems
Mhm.
like the right way.
Mhm.
Just one more question. Why would an entrepreneur more specifically benefit from
Yeah.
regular meditation?
Well, this is kind of where my journey with meditation started. It wasn't sharing meditation with others. It was something that I was seeking as I was trying to navigate, you know, this calling of, I wasn't happy at my job, but yet, I could sense myself like seeking more. And so the reason why you would meditate, I think, is to discover more about, what is that calling, or discover more of ways that you can use your time more efficiently. I think what's interesting about being an entrepreneur is that you have to manage so many things. And so with mindfulness, it's actually giving more of a grounded, intentional state. So mindfulness, the definition by Kabat-Zinn is, he defines it as to have attention on purpose and without judgment. And I think all those things relate to being an entrepreneur, right? You have your, a lot of the time you're on your own doing the work. And so how do you make sure that you're not being pulled in so many directions, so that you are dedicating the time that is what is needed at that moment, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
get your, like, whether it be your weekly goals done, your 3-month goals done, and those are the things that will accumulate to the bigger long-term goals. And so in this day and age where really as humans we have the attention span of a fish, which is kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
That it is, the why is to practice the art of focus, right? um, and we rarely have that opportunity. Did I answer your question? It was the why, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's perfect. And
Yeah.
I love that you kind of shared that we can be pulled in so many directions. I get
Mhm.
ideas every single day, and just that simple question that you mentioned of what's needed in this moment would probably be a question to ask yourself that would change the trajectory of your day, of your week, of your
Mhm.
business, rather than feeling caught in the to-do list of shoulds.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I would like to add, like, the why in meditation is, so in the life of the entrepreneurs, the practice of entrepreneurship is hard to practice. The practice in itself is going through it. And so there are ways to practice what you will be challenged with as an entrepreneur viscerally. So whether it be if you do like some sort of movement or workout, you'll know that as you're moving, for some reason you feel stronger, you feel more capable, and that lands on a cellular level. Same thing with meditation. It's kind of the opposite, which I think is so much more, not so much more, but as equally valuable in finding that grounded state of feeling calm, even in, this unknowingness, maybe where that revenue stream is going to come from, where that next landed deal will, when it will arrive. And so the practice viscerally of being calm and finding that grounded state in all the roller coaster of the entrepreneurship is, I think, the most valuable, right? It's not really, the value isn't when you are in the practice. It's like how it shows up in your day through the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So would you be willing to guide us through a little of
Yes.
the practice so that we can find that
Mhm.
calmness or find the answer to a question or find that clarity in the idea that we really want to impact
Mhm.
this world with?
For sure. I think the one that I would love to guide, this is the most popular one that I find with entrepreneurs. That's kind of where I started with my meditation, is being surrounded with people really journeying on their own craft. And it's the practice of letting go of control and going with the flow. So I think with in the entrepreneur life, you set your schedule, you set everything to do, and then it's that element of releasing control where things naturally will arrive versus you forcing it to arrive,
Mm.
and having that kind of it's almost like you're clinging on to some sort of outcome that leads to more disappointment versus allowing it to show up in its own time. Does that make sense?
That sounds awesome.
All
Yes.
right.
That.
So if you have anything in your hands, if you have anything just distracting you at the moment, just put it aside. Maybe your phone is, on the side, just like face it downwards, and just see if you could pull yourself away from the screen and you could just listen to my guidance. And without moving your head, I want you to just start to notice the space around you and see if you could broaden your perspective and just notice kind of the whole scope of the room. And then perhaps you'll notice how your eyes will land in one spot. And then see if you could stay there and notice how once your eyes land somewhere, everything else starts to fade in the distance, almost blur out in the peripheral view. And if that starts to feel comfortable, then just start to close your eyes, or you could use that place as a point of reference anytime you get distracted. And we'll begin with these kind of controlled breaths, which are really there that you can use any time to calm our nervous system. So let's begin using a count of 3 on an inhale and a count of 5 on the exhale. Beginning here. Inhale for 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So continue breathing just like that, staying with the count if you feel that it anchors you in the breath. Or if you want to make that breath more fluid, you could let go of the count and just encourage the inhale to be a little bit broader than normal. And slow down the exhale so that it's a little bit slower than the inhale. Notice if you get distracted, know that that's normal. You may start to lose count, or you may want to peer behind the darkness of the lids. Just notice, and without any judgment, just arrive back and being intentional with the breath, whether it be the count, just encouraging it to be fuller. And so these bigger breaths are there designed to really calm our nervous system. And so you may notice sounds in the background, wherever you are. You may notice thoughts in the mind. Just see if you could observe and come back to counting the breath or feeling the breath. And if the breath doesn't work for you, then see if you could sense something more tactile. Maybe it's your sit bones pressed up against the chair or the soles on the ground. Let this be a little bit of a discovery, what can be your anchor. And we'll do 3 more deep breaths here. Full breath in. And slow, deep exhale out. Maybe starting to notice all the muscles in the body relax with these deeper breaths. And we'll go 1 more deeper breath here. Full breath in. Deep exhale out. All right, on that last one, we're going to let go of control. And it might take a few breaths to get there, but just see if you could observe the breath. And so now we are trusting in that the body knows how to breathe. And so you're flowing with every inhale and every exhale that shows up. And right away, you may notice, without that deeper anchor of the breath being larger or the count, you may notice your mind actually really active, especially at the beginning of the day where all of a sudden it pulls you in all the things you need to do. And so I like to describe this process as just noticing what shows up as if you were running into a friend on the street. And instead of stopping to have a conversation with that friend, just saying a quick hello and going on with your day. So see if you could have that friendly approach to what shows up and to give yourself permission just to have this time to be with your breath. And so you'll weave through the experience, through the mind wandering, and then returning back to the breath. And then maybe staying at the breath a little bit longer, and then noticing what shows up, and then arriving back at the breath. So learning how to flow with the experience, but then intentionally redirecting your attention where you want to be versus the mind chatter, the voice of judgment or critique in the head. And so the next time you arrive at the breath, we invite an element of curiosity. And that curiosity is what will keep us more in tune with the experience. So through that breath, can you notice the beginning and end of the inhale and exhale? Can you notice the spaces in between? Can you even notice the coolness of the inhale and this subtle shift in temperature, a little bit warmer as it leaves the body? And so that curiosity invites you to stay a little bit longer. And then this natural phenomena of another thought or a sound may call your attention, but see if you could just notice it in the far corners of the room, almost as if it has a soft brushstroke to the experience to arrive back at the breath. And so simply be here for a few moments to practice this flow without any judgment, just weaving, redirecting, arriving back just at this present moment to practice this art of presence. Notice if there's any habit energies where you feel tense in the body, where the body wants to control the experience. See if you could notice those areas and just invite the breath to soften those areas. Notice if you're trying to force the inhale before it's ready to arrive. Try to hold a little bit longer in the pauses in between. See if you could truly follow the breath as if they were ocean waves moving through your body. Just rising and falling, knowing that the body knows how to breathe just as naturally as it creates the heartbeat. Good. So take a few last more moments here. To notice what is showing up, to practice your focus. And know that you could arrive back at those deeper breaths if you're having one of those days where the mind is really active. So in a meditation practice, every moment can change. So the idea is to discover what can anchor you in the moment, whether it is the deeper breath, whether it's finding a grounded sensation through the body. It's something where you can find that resiliency, that stability within. The more you could notice where you discover that, the more that strengthens every time. And so it might be all very new this first time. Let that be a way to inform yourself for the future. Good. Stay where you are with your eyes closed, but let go of the meditation now. So just take a moment where you can simply be. And so we were now before participating in the meditation, but now can you simply be in the chair or be on the floor? Know the body knows how to breathe. And so this little permission in your day to be free from any expectations, to be free from any obligations. Just a moment to yourself. Maybe a moment to listen. And so invite yourself to notice how you feel. Maybe it's changed from when you first started. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's just more awareness, more clarity. Just to notice. And we'll take 3 deep breaths to close the session. Take a full breath in. Deep exhale out. Or just like that, full breath in. Deep exhale out. Last one, full breath in. Deep exhale out. Good. Slowly use your senses, so the sense of touch, to notice the chair, maybe even the air against your skin. Use the sense of hearing and taste to slowly notice the surroundings, sound, and when you're ready, opening your eyes back in the room. Or just bringing your awareness back to our session. And by gentle movement, if that feels good to you. Mm. Mm. And then I always like to invite, just so that we could practice that voice of clarity and identifying. I think that is one of the valuable keys in entrepreneurship, is to identify and practice that clarity. So if anyone wants to share, I don't know if you want to do it one by one, you could definitely pass if you don't want to, just in one word, what you are feeling in this moment. So maybe I'll start with Kelsey. You want to unmute?
I feel excitement because I just thought of something that I really want to focus on for the rest of the day.
That clarity. Yeah, it's interesting in meditation when that happens, and to be aware of it, and then put it aside, but know you could go back to it after the meditation. But I find a lot of the clarity and things that I'm questioning will arrive in meditation, because it almost silences all of the noise in trying to find a solution or whatever it may be. So thank you for sharing that. I'm just going to go down just through the weave of names. So I'll go to Lisa. You can definitely pass if you want to share one word. You just have to unmute.
Lisa, do you want to share?
Just really calm and kind of prepared to tackle the to-do list today.
Yeah. And so that is one little trick that I like to share when it comes to to-do lists. If I always suggest as an entrepreneur to meditate in the morning, because you have such a large kind of to-do list, tackle list that you really want to get done because you're doing it all on your own. So there's two approaches to that. If you know that you're going to meditate in the morning, review your schedule before you meditate, because I think sometimes what happens is when you start to meditate and you haven't glanced on your schedule yet, you're thinking about is wanting to start. Either that, or it's one technique if some people want to practice visualization meditation. That's one where you can visualize your day, which is very powerful for entrepreneurs, because the mind is really fascinating, that it processes experiences and visualizations almost as if they were the same. So especially if you are experiencing something new, like you're going to be pitching, you're doing a big talk, you're going to be at a new conference, whatever it may be, and it's a little bit like intimidating because it's somewhere new and something new, a visualization meditation is so powerful in giving you already that experience.
Cool. So we'll take Devin and then Nicole and then Eric and Rebecca. I just thought for the interest of time.
Oh, yeah, that would be amazing.
Awesome. Great. So Devin, if you want to unmute.
Yeah, I'm just feeling a lot softer. I could wake up feeling pretty like, go get it, and just feel a lot better now. So thank you.
Yeah. And just to touch on that, to feel a little softer, maybe you may be sensing that in your physical body. So what's interesting about stress is it only knows good stress. It doesn't know the difference between good stress or bad stress. And so it just experiences, for instance, if you live in a large city or any city and you hear noises, there's lots of people, something goes unexpected in the morning, automatically your body reacts by releasing stress hormones, and that's cortisol. And that cortisol stays in your body, making you more tense, and that's kind of a fight or flight reaction, so that you can be more reactionary to what needs to be done. The backside of that is when your body is tense, when you have stress in your body, the mind works in tandem with the body. So often when you feel like I can't focus, I'm not clear, it's because we are holding so much stress in our body that it's just kind of playing off of the stress that we're carrying. So another real amazing reason why to meditate is just to normalize our stress level, because we have normalized our stress level to a higher level. So we think we're relaxed and calm and clear, but we're not, right? Like our normal level is actually down here. So something to keep in mind. Thank you for that share, Devin.
Thank you.
Nicole, go ahead. I'll unmute you. Nicole. Oh, she doesn't have a microphone. I'll say it. She said she's feeling really calm and relaxed after the guided meditation. She almost feels like a nap right now. So, all for you, Nicole.
Yeah. Same thing. I guess I would thank you, Nicole, for your response. Same kind of feedback with Devin's, but also something interesting. If you find a little bit more fatigue through the middle of your day, where you're doing a lot of output in the morning, is to take a midday break and notice how that will be a reset. And so it'll feel like you did take a nap when you didn't, but yeah. The one thing I will also note is sometimes people will feel more tired, and that might just be an indication that you need more sleep. But also the same line of, you know, how we think of sometimes there's that really thin line between fear and excitement. It's very similar to fatigue and actually being relaxed. Because we don't know what it feels like to be relaxed and do things from a place of ease. Like when you think of work, we think of it as it has to be hard, it has to be heavy. And so that is also a little bit of practice through meditation. So thank you, Nicole.
Eric, you want to go ahead?
Yes, absolutely. If I had to say one word, it would be like recessed. So I feel like I've kind of taken a few steps back. Rather than having all this like stuff going on all the time, I've literally just recessed. So yeah, that's kind of, that's how I feel.
I love all these observations because I love applying it to entrepreneurship and being on this journey, because it is so powerful to practice this. Like I always call it like an eagle eye view of things, right? So instead of being in it, which is so much of your day as an entrepreneur, like having to do the back end of so many things, to like be able to learn how to find yourself in this oversight or overview of things so that you can have better clarity in what is happening in the overall business is so powerful. So thank you for that, Eric.
And Rebecca, unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
So my word today is grateful. And gratitude is something that I just am really, just so, it's like pouring out of every part of me. I'm so grateful for Kelsey for bringing us all together. She's such a beacon. And, for you, Natalie, for, hosting and sharing your gifts. And to me, a big part of meditation is it's not just about me, but also like coming in communion with other people. And I just am so grateful that like we are here together for this common cause. And, part of entrepreneurship, I think, can get so lonely, especially if you're a one person show. And so just that we're all here together, like it just makes me so emotional that we're like all here, we're together, and we're, it's just so beautiful. And we're all sharing in this journey. And then, this meditation piece is so lovely. And, meditation is a big part of my life. And I'm just, the more we talk about it, the more it makes me happy. So
yeah. Thanks, Rebecca. I think it's so important to know that, because that is, with meditation, how it helps as, an individual person, is just almost the tip of the iceberg, because the root of meditation is this gratitude and this love and compassion for the self and the others in the community. And really that's what entrepreneurship is. If you think about what your drive is, whether it's to connect people to people or you to others. And so that is what is being cultivated on the deeper end of it. And I think with gratitude, I use gratitude on a daily, but I find really that is what lifts me up on those harder days. sometimes it's hard to drop into meditation when you're just having like 2 or 3 days of more challenging days. But the second that you drop into gratitude, for instance, just waking up and being like, I am grateful I get to do what I want to do. I'm grateful that I have electricity. I am grateful for my support systems. All of a sudden your perspective shifts. And I think that really is what helps keep you going on your journey as an entrepreneur, and what your mission is and what your passion is, to always find that perspective, right? So thank you for that, Rebecca.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing. That was so amazing, Natalie. I'm very grateful on the topic of gratitude for you for taking time out of your week to spend it with our visionary community. And I would love for you to just leave us with a couple notes on how we can connect with you. I'm sure people want to know just more of what you do, and maybe want to go say hi to you on social or wherever they can find you.
Yeah, I mean, this is my passion. I mean, I think my passion is to help others, to lift others up. I do a lot of this in the school system. I do it in the community. I am an entrepreneur myself, and my closest friends are all entrepreneurs. So this is kind of my passion. So I offer support systems in a sense of private custom meditations, but very soon I'm launching a program specifically for entrepreneurs, where it's like 1 week meetup where you could join in with other entrepreneurs going through the same journey, and meditating and finding that grounded state at the beginning of your week, and to support other entrepreneurs on the same journey. So I'll definitely send all of those details. You'll be able to receive also a lovely visionary promo for being here, and I hope to see you again. I really wish all of the best of your journey, and I hope that each of you are just enjoying every step of the journey, because that really is what it's about, right? It's like just observing yourself growing, being courageous, going beyond the constructs and limiting beliefs that were defined outside of you. So it's a beautiful thing. And thank you for being here and spending your morning with me.
Thank you. Yeah, if you could send me all that, and then I can forward it on to the crew. So
yes.
Thank you. All right, I'll close this meeting out, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll all talk soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.